Jaya Bajranga Bali Baba Hanuman. Jaya Bajranga Bali Baba Hanuman. Sankatamochan Kripa Nidan. Sankatamochan Kripa-nidan. Jaya Siya Ram, Jaya Jaya Hanuman. Jaya Siya Ram, Jaya Jaya Siya Ram, Jaya Jaya Hanuman. Jaya Siya Ram, Jaya Jaya Hanuman. Jaya Bajranga Bali Baba Hanuman. Jaya Bajranga Bali Baba Hanuman. Karuna Sagara Kripa-nidan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to an amazing special edition to The Gathering. The short reel that you saw prior to this piece is of a brand new Hanumanji temple that has been constructed through with a miraculous story by this beloved human being, Vishal Bhavsar, and we are in the state of Gujarat in India, and the temple is about 4.5 hours away in a place called Vavia. Did I say that right?
Vavia.
Vavia. And so this is our good friend Vishal, and we wanted to welcome him to this edition of The Gathering. And the reason why is because it has been a deep, fulfilling soul connection to be able to meet him, to spend time with him, to be with his family, and to have this experience here firsthand, to be able to go to the temple and to stay there in a nearby ashram, and to spend quality time in something that has been so beautifully constructed from the soul. Words cannot really appropriately describe what has happened to us, but we wanted to ask Vishal if he would come and share with all of you a little bit about the process, the unfoldment, the history of how this temple reconstruction came to be. So that's a lot of big questions, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be fun.
And so we could start with the fact that the two of you have this deep love for your guru, your shared guru. You want to say something, Jairam?
About Maharaji?
Maharaji.
So Ram Das met Maharaji Neem Karoli Baba in 1969, I believe, and is our guru. And it's hard to put into words what and who Maharaji is, but he changed my life and changed your life, and changed many of our friends' lives just completely. And I think you're a really good example of somebody who was not expecting to become anybody's devotee.
Yeah, never thought so.
So in 2017, accidental run-in with Maharaji put you on a whole new path, which is your book.
Yeah, my book. Yeah, it's called Tryst with Reality.
And what briefly we could start and say how you came to know Neem Karoli Baba.
Okay. Right. So hello everyone. I'm doing this for the first time, so I might be a little nervous. So bear with me. So we're talking about Neem Karoli Baba, who is our guru, and It was in 2017 that I first visited this temple in Kanchi Dham, which is very famous all over the world. And a lot of people have been there, including Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg and a lot of other big celebrities. So for me, I just decided one day to join my friend to the Himalayas. It was an unplanned backpacking trip, and he just asked me to go along with him to Himalayas, and I agreed, and I left in a matter of few days. And that's when I kind of got a little curious to know who this guru was, whom Steve Jobs had visited. So with that curiosity, I went to Kanchi Dham in 2017, and the moment I stepped into Kanchi Dham, I think it changed my life, changed a lot of things about what I was going to do in the future after that, and what I have been doing before that. So I would not get into the details of that, but yes, so that was my beginning, or how I got associated with Neem Karoli Baba. And from that day onwards, I have learned and realized a few things about the connection that I share with him, and the way he has been influencing my life before 2017 and after that as well, right? So that realization did happen in 2017, and since then it's been a really amazing journey with Neem Karoli Baba and whatever I have done post 2017.
And as a profession, then you are an architect and a civil engineer.
Yeah.
And up till 2017, what would you say was your primary focus?
Yeah, so a bit about myself. So I run an architecture firm. My wife's an architect. I'm a civil engineer, and I have been to places like I was in London for my MBA. I was in Bangalore after being in London for 5 years in Bangalore, and then we moved back to Ahmadabad, which is in Gujarat, the western state of India, and we started our own firm. So I have always been into my focus was only business, and the needs were monetary, right? So I mean, obviously before 2017, that's what you try to do, and that's what you think is the most important thing in your life. As a youngster, I was a sportsman. I used to play cricket for my state. I represented West Zone. So I've been into like sports and adventures and all those stuff, and that was my life. And I never thought that I would ever think about a guru or have a guru or have a spiritual path at all in my life. So very different upbringing, very different interests before 2017. And yes, of course, my family and business was the only thing that I was concerned with, nothing more than that.
And Jai Ram, did Ram Das call the path of the Guru Kripa?
Yeah, Guru Kripa.
So Guru Kripa is one way in which an individual, a human, finds their path. I love the phrase that there are many paths up the mountain. And so one of these paths that these two share is the path of Guru Kripa. And it just so happens to be that guru is the shared love and devotion of Neem Karoli Baba. I would say that Neem Karoli Baba is one of the more significant, it's hard to say, significant Indian gurus. Quite profound. What I particularly love about Neem Karoli Baba is there was no books by him. There was nothing that was about gain. He had these three simple instructions, and those three simple instructions were to feed people, to love people, love and serve people, and to remember. And the remembrance part is something that I deeply identify with, and that remembrance is that it's all God. No matter what it is that you and I perceive through the human lens, that beyond our surface understanding or need to define, it's all perfect or it's all God, which is a very difficult thing to absorb if you are only dealing with the perception of the human experience from this one-dimensional plane. So Neem Karoli Baba people would go, Maharaji, that was his term of endearment. Maharaji, how do I become enlightened? And he would say, love people, feed people, and remember that it's all God. And that to me was the foundation that he never wavered from. And there's a beauty in that. There's a deep beauty in that. Nothing of his life and his path and his upbringing was about gain. It was all devotion to Ram, 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 or God. And
he started his path in Vavania.
And so Maharaji, or Neem Karoli Baba, I guess you could say, started his penance or his unfoldment into this journey of becoming this perfected, the unfoldment of the perfected being here in the state of Gujarat, in this town of Vavania, 4.5 hours away. And so we understand that he went there at the age of 10.
10, yes.
At the age of 10, until about the age of 18, he did that work. And I believe you were the one who said the reason why he came was there was an arranged marriage already at 10, and he ran away.
Yeah,
And he ran
that's what we know. Yeah, he left his home, and he then came to Vavania.
And you have no idea. No one knows why he chose this place.
Correct. And it's so remote. You saw that, right?
It's
Yeah.
so remote.
Oh my God.
It's very. It's remote now, and
It's
I
still
can't imagine
remote.
how remote it would have been.
And
100 years
unbelievable. There are these more than 100-year-old banyan trees that are
so
by
beautiful.
this incredible body of water. And there are stories about his time from 10 to 18 of the various acts of penance. And one was, I think, tell me if I get this right, in order to try to get away from people and the noise, he submersed himself in the water. You ready? Submersed himself in the water and stayed underwater for long durations of time.
Like months.
Yes. And that's when he was called Talaiya Baba, which is Tal means lake in Hindi. So
Okay.
that's how the name, his first name was Talaiya Baba in Vavania.
Okay.
Because he used to stay inside the lake. So he was called Talaiya Baba.
And in this period of time between 10 and 18, he constructed, it's called a murti, right?
Yeah, he installed one Hanumanji Murti, which was the one that you saw, the one at the bottom
Yes.
in the temple. That is the Murti that he installed when he left Vavania in 1918. Right, and yeah, so after that, that small temple was built, and that would be 50 years before today. So somebody built that temple around that Murti.
Yeah. And so Hanuman, you want to explain a little bit of Hanuman?
About Hanuman and
So
his
role?
role?
Neem Karoli Baba is said to be the avatar of Hanuman, correct?
which is
The Hindu
and,
god.
And Hanuman represents selfless service to God. So Hanuman's only desire in his heart every moment is just how can he serve
God.
And he became he's very smart, very educated monkey, and very well spoken, like a diplomat.
And he's featured in the epic poem called
the Ramayana.
The Ramayana. And so Hanuman is a very popular and revered god in the Hindu culture. And so Neem Karoli Baba is said to have become the avatar of, and so the Murti that you described was of Hanuman.
Murti, yeah.
And you had your experience, and you realize that you are close to where this Murti is, and you go to visit. And what became of that visit?
The first visit you're talking about? Yeah. So as I said, in 2017, I came to know about this small place in Gujarat. I was only aware of the main temple in Kanchi Dham, which is in North India. And from Kanchi Dham, I came to know about Vavania, which is in my home state. It's a small village, as he said, far from my home. So after coming back from Kanchi Dham, me and my friend Sumant, who accompanied me to the Himalayas, both of us, we went to Vavania. And so it's a very remote place. Even in a car you can get lost if Google would not show you the right direction. And so it's a very small village of about 5,000 people, and we were going there for the first time, so we didn't know exactly where the temple was. So we entered the village and we parked our car, and we were asking the villagers over there about this Hanuman temple, and no one knew. So we basically were inquiring about Neem Karoli Baba temple. assuming that there would be a big temple here, just like what we saw in Kanchi Dham, and not aware of what the temple was like. So we kept asking about Neem Karoli Baba's temple, and no one had a clue. So I mean, it was quite strange because the village was so small, you cannot get lost in such a small village. And then I think the fifth or the sixth guy, we asked, I mean, he said, "Are you looking for the Hanuman temple?" And we said yes. So then he pointed out that you're standing right in front of the temple. So there was a very small temple.
And so Westerners, when you use the word temple, they think of something really grand, but this temple was probably the size of this laptop.
Yeah, a little cement hut. With,
so we didn't imagine that it would be such a small temple, and yes, it was of course not attended by anyone for many years. So we went there, we saw the Hanuman Murti installed, which was installed by Maharajji long back, before 100 years. And yes, but we also were concerned about the state of the temple, and we felt that it should be in a better state, because there was no pujari, no pandit, no one was there. So obviously we felt little disappointed with the state of the temple, and
it was dirty.
Yeah, it was. So
he showed us pictures of them cleaning it, and it was just really gross. And then also falling in, I mean, you realize that it was just collapsing. I mean, you could see, he showed us pictures of you could see the structural, the breaks, and where it was.
So the reason for that is again technical. As you've seen, that the place is close to the sea. It's about 3-4 kilometers away from the sea. So the air is moist, and it would cause the reinforcement to rust. And since it was a very small construction, not being managed properly, so over the period the temple itself had deteriorated, and it was in a very bad shape. So that was the condition of the temple in 2017.
And being respectful for your intention and your wish, this what we were about to share isn't for the purpose of self-praise or publicity or acquisition. It's simply to give a testament to this path of the Guru Kripa, and how from a place of devotion, no matter what your path up the mountain is, when someone totally surrenders to that kind of devotion, we would use the word miraculous things happen. And one of the things that I love within the language of metaphysics and is the fact that we say there is no such thing as a miracle, because a miracle indicates something that is outside of us, but that when we surrender and become or allow that which is the devotion to fill us in the pure state, then things that we would call miracles, or what some of the ways in which we would say it, become divine ordinaries. And so your experience after discovering this murti, this temple, and its deterioration, you surrendered your skill and yourself and the things that happened to you when you visited Maharaji. You surrendered all of that. You know how we talk about sometimes the 4 T's? Your time, your talent, your treasure, and your tithe. Tithe meaning seva. When one can give their time selflessly, when one can give their talent selflessly, when one can give their treasure selflessly, and when one can tithe selflessly, not from transaction or what can this do for me, the real beautiful unpolluted purity of that selflessly creates a lot of divine ordinaries. And I think what has inspired Jay Raman and I is the fact that there are living examples of people all over the world who are doing that. And we don't necessarily see it or celebrate it. And not that it necessarily should be, But this message is to give you an understanding and even a possible sense of hope that just because it's not in the news and just because it's not right in your face doesn't mean that that purity and that divinity of expression is not happening all across the world in ways that you and I can never fully begin to understand. And what has become from your pure intent is what you saw. So from this Murti, deteriorating Murti, the talent and the skill of his civil engineering and his family's talent and support from the architectural standpoint, this needs to have a part two, because the stories that Vishal has told us about leading up to the opening, and you think there's a level of surrender, and then there's even another level of surrender of all of the people involved, all of the help, the workers,
so many people,
and all of this happened during when?
During COVID.
During COVID, when it was a complete lockdown.
Yes. So the whole temple started with COVID and it ended with COVID. So we started, my first visit for the purpose of doing something with the temple was in February 2020. In March 2020, we had the first lockdown in India, and we opened the temple last year in December. And I think that's when, we were through with the COVID as well. So it was exactly during that COVID time that we were involved in this temple, and we could manage to build it,
And so if you wanted to share with people why they should come and possibly visit the Hanumanji temple in Vavia, what would you say?
So, first of all, for all the Neem Karoli Baba devotees and otherwise, so this is the place where he started his spiritual journey. He came there at the age of 10, left around 1918 when he was around 18 years. And apart from that, it's a beautiful place, beautiful location right by the lake side. And it's very small place, very small village, quiet, peaceful. The
friendly.
Everyone
was so
people
friendly
are so
to
nice,
us.
yes.
And it's the place where someone like Neem Karoli Baba started his own spiritual journey. So there has to be some reason behind why he came from a very distant place in North India to this place in Western India. So again, even today, driving to that place is difficult. So one has to just imagine how he would have managed as a 10-year-old boy to come from miles away from North India to this place. There were no, I would believe there would be no train, no buses at that point in time. Even now there are no buses or train that goes to Vavia, so the only practical mode of transport would be by car. And of course those days he wouldn't have a car at an age of 10. So that's again quite intriguing how he and why he came there. So many reasons to visit Vavia. And you also there is a beautiful ashram now which is getting ready in another couple of months. So yes, we will have staying facilities, and apart from that, I think it's just the vibrations of the place that you would want to, feel and enjoy someday.
And all of this happened for Jairam and I because we host a Ram Dass meetup group in Atlanta, Georgia, once a month. And many, many people have started to come, and sometimes they come once, and sometimes they come every single time. And there is a wonderful Indian couple, Neelish and Neha, who live sort of near us. Not 40, they travel far to get to our house, but they're there for every month to chant and to share in the darshan and to eat, and we have such a great time. And it was Neelish that said to us, "Oh my God, you have to talk to this man Vishal." And how did you know Neelish? He came to your office.
Yeah, so he knew about the temple getting constructed, the new temple. So we were in touch for quite some time, I would believe a couple of years now. And he visited the temple in 2022, I believe, before it opened, before a couple of months. And that's when he came to Ahmedabad to my office, and we had met briefly. Yeah. Otherwise,
So-
we are in touch on the phone, and yeah.
So someone in Atlanta who said, "Oh my gosh, you must meet this person." He introduced us. He and his family have loved us so greatly, and that's the first of many conversations. But before we go, can we get the whole family to come in and say hello?
Come say
Where's
hello,
Krishna? Come out of the kitchen. Mom.
We hijacked the whole house. So
We
could-
hijacked. Come say hi.
So
Hello.
that's my mom, Jyoti, my cousin Kushal,
Kushal and
my wife
Krishna,
Vishal.
and the daughters who won't come out of the room.
No, they don't know. Just say hi.
So we are continuing our journey in just a little bit to go.
Say hello.
Hey,
She's
She's-
Jia, my
Jia.
elder daughter, who is in college right now. She is studying architecture in third year.
runs in the family, and
And she is Anya, my younger daughter. She is in 10th standard. She is 15, and the elder one is 20 years.
so when Neem Karoli Baba said to KK, who was his assistant, he instructed KK to take care of Ram Das because he said there is no love like an Indian family. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. They have given us so much food, and then we keep saying goodbye, but then now they're taking us to come have lunch. We'll take you to the airport, and it's been so beautiful.
And so for
Our India
myself and
family.
Jairam and
Vishal.
all of your family, thank you for watching,
Thank
and
you.
stay
Thank you.
tuned.
Thank you.
Greetings
Thank you.
from India.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.